Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya 'ala as-salah. Hayya 'ala as-salah. Hayya 'ala al-falah. Hayya 'ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد. Once there was a time in Mecca where Abu Jahl, who is also known as the Fir'aun of the Ummah, because of the harm and the hardship that he had put the Prophet ﷺ through. During the nights, Abu Jahl would stand in front of the Prophet ﷺ's home and listen to the recitation. And a man walked by and saw Abu Jahl doing this and asked him, "What are you doing?" And Abu Jahl kind of brushed it off and said, "Don't worry about it." The next day, the same thing happened. And then the third day, the same thing happened. And so in the third night, the same man walked by and pulled Abu Jahl away and asked him. And he said to him, "Usduqni, tell me the truth. Do you believe that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is upon the haqq, is upon the truth?" And Abu Jahl responded and says, "Wallahi, I believe that he's on the truth." So the man asked him, "So why won't you just follow him? Stop doing all of the things that you're doing to him and just follow his message." And before I tell you what Abu Jahl said to this man, we have to understand a bit of context of what Meccan life was like back then. The Meccans, they didn't have any leadership in Mecca. Leadership was more restricted to tribes. So you had Abu Sufyan and his tribe, Abu Jahl and his tribe, and so on and so forth. And whoever was the senior of that tribe, that was the leader. And so there were pockets of leadership. And the way that you would determine who had the strongest voice in Mecca is that anytime visitors would come to the city, it would be who was most hospitable to those visitors. So you'll have like a group of, or one tribe that would provide free food for visitors. And then you'll have another tribe who sees that and they provide more food and better food for those visitors. And at the end of the day, whoever had the reputation for being most hospitable had the strongest voice of Mecca. So Abu Jahl, his response to this man, why he wouldn't follow the Prophet ﷺ, is like, he says to him, we've been in competition with Banu Abdul Manaf, which is where the Prophet ﷺ, that's the lineage he comes from. And Abu Jahl is from Banu Makhzum. So he says, we've been in competition with these two tribes for ages. Now they have a prophet from their tribe. We have nothing. And if it was food or some other form of hospitality, yes, we could compete, but we can't choose a prophet like that. So we have nothing. And if I say I believe in this man, then my tribe would literally go down the drain. It would carry no status in Mecca. And this here is exposing a poison that was alive then and alive till this day in communities across the globe. And that's the evil poison and disease of jealousy. Abu Jahl died in the Battle of Badr, and still his jealousy for the Prophet ﷺ, he still couldn't climb over it. And this is the state that he dies in. He continues his life torturing, ridiculing, and creating propaganda, campaigns against the Prophet ﷺ, calling him the worst of the worst names. Why? Because deep down, what infested his heart was this evil poison of jealousy. Now, why do I bring this up? My brothers and sisters, I don't know if jealousy will ever disappear. But jealousy has a sister, a big sister, which we should all be afraid of. If you think of somebody who's jealous, on the outside, they'll tell you, mashallah, we love you, you're doing a great job, but inside they hate it. They don't want you to have that status or that recognition. So there's a bit of jealousy. What do you immediately compare that to? What does that sound like? Sounds like a nifaq, hypocrisy. And this is why our ulama say that jealousy is one of the major qualities of a munafiq. It's one of the major qualities of a hypocrite. I bring this up, ayyuha al-ahbab, because unfortunately it still exists within all of our communities. And from time to time, we need to step aside, breathe from all the problems and pressures across the globe, and just look in the mirror for a second and say, do you have jealousy in you? Are you jealous of anything or anyone? And if you do your best to extinguish it. Because the Prophet ﷺ taught us in several narrations that jealousy, literally in a nutshell, it will wipe out your deeds. Or the deeds that we perform for Allah will carry no value. They will carry no blessing and reward. You'll just be doing the acts for the sake of getting it done. And furthermore, on the Day of Judgment, our Prophet ﷺ tells us that jealousy will shave off our good deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. Jealousy destroys everything. Relationships, communities, you name it. Reputations. If you knew somebody was jealous and carried that quality in them, would you want to be their friend? Would you want to be around them? Nobody would. And even that individual, even for that person who carries that quality, they will be somebody that people would know that person, watch out. They'd be the scapegoat of the community. And so we have to continue as a community to remind each other and strive that we do our very best to at least try to eliminate this from our hearts, even if it exists. Even if there's an atom's weight of it. What did Allah say? وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. Even if you have an atom's weight of evil, sharrun, something that's despicable, it's ugly, it's unwanted, you'll see it. You'll see the manifestations of it if you allow it to linger, if you allow it to carry on. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this evil quality of jealousy. I know there are some exceptions, but we don't have time to talk about that. We simply want to focus at least at the evil nature of what jealousy is and what it represents. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from it. If anybody has an ounce of jealousy in them, we pray on this blessed day of this blessed hour of Yawm al-Jum'ah, may Allah Azza wa Jal extinguish it and remove it from your hearts, from your lives. Allahumma ameen. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله عليه أفضل الصلاة ومن والاه. In conclusion, brothers and sisters, for all the young students that are here, all I want to do, for the adults that are here, if you join me, that we pray that Allah Azza wa Jal preserve the message of Islam in their hearts and in their lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve the message of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the hearts of our sons and daughters. All throughout their lives, may Allah Azza wa Jal protect them. And our mothers and fathers, may Allah Azza wa Jal do the same for all of you and continue to give you the health and strength that you continue to be the best parents that you can. Allahumma ameen. With that being said, we send peace and blessings to our Rasul salawatu rabbi wa salamuhu alayhi. Kama amarana subhanahu wa ta'ala fi tanzili. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك قريب سميع مجيب الدعوات. اللهم إننا نسألك الجنة وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل ونعوذ بك من النار وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.